Serial Killers, Supernatural and Murderers presents When Horror Movies Kill. The team dares to ask the question Hollywood won't: are horror movies truly fatal, or just cursed? We've uncovered chilling research, terrifying coincidences, and real-life deaths that shadow your favorite films. The evidence? Disturbing. The stories? All too real. The conclusion? You decide. Join us live on Facebook. Jump into the chat, ask your questions, and witness what happens when the line between fiction and fatality disappears. This Monday night, where fear meets fact. Only on All Access Network Television.
Hey, what's up, Tom?
What is going on? It is
There's
Monday
Gwen.
night again. There she is. Oh, what a last few days. It's been crazy, peeps.
Blaine?
Yeah. What's up, brother?
Hey.
Yeah, I'm glad he's watching. So it's been a crazy last few days, as you guys know. My significant other, Stacia, she has an internal pacemaker, and she had just had surgery a week ago to try and help out a few things. And we happened to be at an event at Haunted Hillview Manor in Pennsylvania, and she wasn't feeling well, and the pacemaker went off, and she dropped to the ground. So basically, when a pacemaker goes off, that means your heart stopped, so you died, and it fires up and brings you back to life. So crazy moment. And knowing Stacia, how strong she is, once she knew it went off, she started laughing. So we really look at it. I don't know if you guys follow me on Facebook, but I did put a post up. You know, how many people do you know die at a hospital for the criminally insane on the Day of the Dead and come back to life and laugh in the face of the Grim Reaper? Yeah, that's Stacia. So that's quite crazy, but you know, it's been a very stressful few days. I'm glad I'm on here with you guys so we could talk about other stuff instead of
a crazy night. We've got a crazy topic.
Yeah, I want to get into something different, and I'm glad for all the prayers everybody's been giving. She's doing much better, so we're not out of the woods yet, but she's doing great.
Great. Glad to hear it.
Happy to hear it. She sure will. Bless her, bless her, bless her.
Yeah.
So glad she's tough, and here we go. Boom.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
There you go.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for praying for her. She's a wonderful person. It's a great friend.
Yeah.
Wow. And that is kind of crazy. She goes to a insane asylum, haunted insane asylum on Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
And dies.
What's up, Raven?
Comes up
laughing. On the Day of the Dead, and
does that?
Heart goes in the V-fib, shocks her, brings her back to life. Yeah. The thing that she was excited about is she got a helicopter ride from Pennsylvania back here to Cleveland, Ohio. I have it on video.
There's easier ways.
I know, but you know me, knowing that she's okay. And I had, of course, videotaped the helicopter ride. So those of you that are part of Wardruna saw that helicopter ride that I put up. So good. So that was fun. And
Blaine is watching. So
yeah, he said, I thought you saw it.
Yeah. Prayers for Blaine Rowan continuing to heal.
Yeah,
he had an amazing announcement that he doesn't show any sign of cancer, but he is still healing. So everybody, pray for our family, Blaine, Stacia.
Yeah, we've had a lot of stuff coming here to the end of. Thank you, Raven. A lot of stuff, even with Raven. Raven had a scare too. These are all people that are very important to us, part of the network, just part of our friendship circle. So a lot of stuff going on. Prayers for everybody. I'm actually at the point, I'm not liking the end of 2025 very much, but I am excited for 2026. And I know a lot of people are. A lot of things that we're planning, and it's going to be very exciting. End of the year, but the coming year I think is going to be big for a lot of people. So.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah.
And tonight we've got an amazing show. Last week we had the great James Stokes on, who is not just an actor, but he's also, Jason Voorhees. He's been on Stranger Things, but he's a producer and director. And so, it was great having him on. His message about anti-bullying was right on time, right on track, and I hope everybody was touched by that. If you don't remember it or you didn't get a chance to see it, go back and watch it.
Yeah,
It's on our
exactly.
on all of our timelines, as well as on Instagram,
Right.
YouTube, and things like that. So please, reach out to him, show him
Yeah.
support and love, because that, it takes a strong person to stand up against bullies.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, better yet, come and ask him questions at Salem Paracon on November
Yes.
15th in Salem, Massachusetts. Make sure you go online, get your tickets ahead of time. I think if you get them ahead of time, they're a few bucks cheaper than the door. So take advantage of that. So you'll get to meet him there. Maybe get a picture with him, put his mask on for you and make that exciting. But from what we know is he's very grateful for anybody that comes out to see him, and we'll sit with you and stand with you
Absolutely.
and get that all done. What a great guy.
he's
Great
down to
guest
earth.
last week. Yeah.
He's
Perfect.
a very down to earth guy. So
Yeah.
here we are talking about serial killers that have influenced our horror movies. Now we're talking about horror movies that have brought into supernatural experiences for the cast, even to the point of death. So we went from one degree and we're swinging it back around to the other. And man, have we got some information for you. I made just a couple of short videos, and the videos are not the movies because that is copyrighted. It's just a quick list, and then we'll break it down for you of what we can experience, what we're going to talk about. There's just so much. So, haunted horror movies that kill. I sounded like that guy from what is it, that sword guy, from what is it he does, a Forged in Fire? He goes, it will kill.
Yeah.
So horror movies that will kill.
Yes. Nice.
All right.
Yep.
Oh, thank you, Raven. What a sweet message.
You're so sweet.
Yeah.
And you guys, let me throw this out there
Paracon.
for Raven, if you guys don't mind, on her show tonight, which is after this. It's at 9:30. It's going to be Meet the Host. So you get to find it. And she asked me to interview, and I said, of course. My gosh.
Nice.
And it made me blush, and I'm blushing now. But
yeah,
you get to find out about Raven. So that'll be awesome.
Right. You know who's on next week on Raven's podcast?
Yes, but I can't remember.
Do I know him?
Do you?
Nanya, you?
It could be me, and it could be Mr. Charles Rosenet, and get you guys.
Oh, nice.
Raven being who lives in Salem, the best person to get us all prepared for the big Salem Paracon. Just her knowing the area and what to look out for. People that come up to the Paracon, she could give you tips on where to go that weekend after, maybe if you want to stay an extra day on Sunday to be able to explore or get there early. She'll give you all the tidbits, travel, where to go, the places that tourists don't know about that might give you a different experience. So that'll be fun, and we'll get y'all ready for Salem Paracon on the 10th. I think we're going to be on the 10th. That's what it is. So.
I think it's the 10th. It's next Monday.
Exactly. Yeah, next Monday, whatever day that is.
That's the 10th. Yeah. My brain is not working right. Absolutely.
No,
right.
mine isn't. I'm working on a couple hours of sleep, so I think we're good.
Poor thing. You've had so much going on.
Yeah.
All right. So the first movie we're going to talk about is The Crow.
Ooh.
And, I love Bruce Lee. I love Brandon Lee. Two beautiful, deadly men taken out filming, taken out the same way. Some people say that it's feng shui, that, they had that thing on their house to get the energy in the house right, to lead the energy of the family members. And then it was damaged in a storm. And so after that, deaths started happening. Then we also have heard that it was that Bruce Lee revealed some secrets of martial arts to people when he was in traction and healing, and his wife took it down. And because, see, his wife took those notes down and wrote the book, clearly it went to Brandon. And so they were saying, okay, somebody slipped that bullet, the real bullet, in instead of the blanks, and it killed him. You know, I don't know what I feel about that, but I do know that they caught the bullet in the gun beforehand. And they took it offset and said, how did this get here? And I'll be dang if it didn't come back. And he killed himself with it.
Yeah, it was a dummy shot for the scene to the abdomen. Yeah,
my
that's
dad, he was friends with a lot of Western cowboys. They would, make appearances like we do with our conferences. And there was one guy that he did the rope, the cowboy rope thing, and he'd get somebody, usually me, and we're in there with the lasso and it's going up and down, Well, he did one thing, because we were talking about blanks, and of course this is way before Brandon died, and he took up a huge phone book. Okay, so that's how old this is. It was a huge phone. You don't even see phone books anymore.
Don't tell anybody how old we are.
Yeah. I should have kept that to myself. Anyway, he shot it with his gun and a blank, and that thing, poof, it was everywhere. So I know that blanks are very serious.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what possessed him to put it to his head like that. But anyway, so the crew and the beautiful Brandon Lee. So I know this is going to go by fast. We'll break it down after we see this little video. Yeah. Just a little reminder that we're serial killers, supernatural, and murderers. It's just a cute little intro to start. All right, so this huge list of all the accidents that happened and things that happened to people that were stunt doubles, people that had to step in and be him because they were putting the face over the top of the body so that they could complete the movie.
Yeah.
Unresolved spiritual. The producer was saying that this was a spirit that had unresolved issues because Brandon died and he said he would die like his dad, and they were the same age.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So there's a lot to all of that. But then afterwards, the actor that accidentally killed him, he did not do well after that. He just, it was so much on his heart because he never meant to do that.
Yeah.
Fun Boy was his name. And you can tell the difference in him. And I know that when this happened, it was sort of a pinnacle of the movie where he was, the crow was overcoming Fun Boy because Fun Boy was the one that actually killed the two of them. All of them did, but he was the one that was the worst. And so, yeah, but he just fell apart. I mean, you can see it in his face trying to act. Can you imagine trying to film with the same people that filmed him shooting someone? How horrible, and then of course, let's talk about Bruce. He was filming. The camera folks caught his death, just like they caught Brandon's. And, and Brandon's sister started with martial arts, and the Hollywood rumor is that Mama said no. Mama said, I've lost two of my loves of my life. I'm not losing you too. And so she went on and had a normal, not star-studded life. And, good for her. but she was every bit the athlete and a martial artist as her brother.
Yeah. Well, that's where a lot of it comes in. We look at all these actors and they get into the Hollywood, they get in the silver screen. The I wouldn't say with the Lees, the need to look at me kind of thing. What kind of energy do they put out there to get the ability to be in a movie? They always call about the going to the crossroads and making a deal with the devil to have fame. You have to answer to that is the lore. That's the other part of it. Is that them dying both at the same time and answer to the lore, especially in their culture. Yeah, that's one of those things. And the thing is right before they filmed, I don't know if a lot of people knew that there was a voicemail that went to the production team that said bad things will happen if you continue to make this movie. So it was one of the big things for The Crow. So that's another part of what happened on that voicemail. Was it true or not? You know, a lot of people have said it was, but yeah. And then bad things start happening. That's a little crazy to what occurred. What was the other thing? Is some guy got electrocuted, really severe burns. The electrician, hurricane came through and ruined the set. So there's delays and yeah, you name it. Some truck just somehow caught on fire. Like you saw, there's a huge list of stuff that happened during The Crow. But I always question, you know, the intent that you put into a movie, the dark side of it. Are we creating that energy on the set for these things to happen? Is the topic something that we're putting energy with a group of people doing a production? The potential's there on the supernatural side of it. What are you awakening something?
Right. I think the commitment that the actors have to have in order to portray these roles has a bit of unintentional casting, like being able to cast their energy out. The guy that plays Fun Boy in The Crow ends up being a serial killer on Criminal Minds several times, and he was a regular on Supernatural.
Wow.
And he was always the bad guy. Hey, Stacia.
There she is.
Yeah. Hey,
watching from her hospital room.
God bless you, baby.
Yeah, I miss you, honey. Yeah. But I really question that stuff. I know we're going to talk about a few of the other movies that were kind of cursed during them. But that's the thing that I question a lot is what intent or what energy are you putting into the production? You know, I know go off topic a little bit, but look at Heath Ledger.
Yes.
The energy that he put into the Joker and ultimately, you know, never really been able to release how he got into the character. A lot of people said that put him into that spiral to put him at that point where, you know, things happen to him. Yeah, you really have to be careful what you take on or what you wish for. Just because it's a movie role, the universe doesn't know the difference of what you're asking to do.
Yeah, and it's group intention. Everybody's committed to the same thing. Overtime, fatigue, the writing of it. What are the writers thinking? I mean, this could be an artificial or an egregore haunting even.
Yeah.
So but some believe that the subject matter of death, resurrection, and vengeance is what created this whole issue for them. So, all right, on to the next one. And these, you guys are going to recognize these. They're around the Crow is younger than the others, but okay. So the next
I think that was Crow was like what, 94 or something like that, somewhere in there.
Yeah. The next one is
the
Poltergeist. Yeah. What an amazing movie. And you know there's 3.
Yeah. Is it 3? I thought it was
3. And one of the cast members that died was, I used to have a crush on him. He was the shaman.
Yeah. Yep.
In
Will Sampson, his name was. Will Sampson is the guy. I think his character's name was Taylor. He was I think it was part 2. Poltergeist number.
It was part 2,
was,
and
yeah.
so it started out that there was a the themes of the movie started out buried on top of an Indian burial ground.
Yep.
They move, Mama dies. They move in with Mom. Mom dies, so they've inherited this house. But there were people that were buried in a cave underneath their specific house within the Indian burial ground, and these were like settlers. And so now they're pushing revenge and wanting it, and there was some betrayal. There's some betrayal. There's a whole lot of mess, and so I don't want to go into all of it because then you guys might want to watch the movie after this. I think it's a good one. But just so you know, though, the guy that played as a shaman was a shaman. He wasn't.
It really was awesome.
And this is going to fly by fast, but we'll break it down like we did this last one. All right. Like I said, it was fast. That beautiful child that played Carol Ann, she died.
Yes, she did.
And it was something, it was some bizarre thing.
She was misdiagnosed.
She was. She had her pipes were clogged up.
Yeah.
She had oh no, I got to look it up now. So
she had an intestinal block. They thought it was Crohn's disease.
Yeah,
they misdiagnosed it, and she went into shock and all that, and rushed her to the hospital. But it, pretty much perforated, and that's what ultimately killed her. On why they had her on the operating table. So, crazy, because potentially what this girl could have brought to the industry, as what they say, or just what this girl was, from what I found, it was so intelligent that what she could have brought to the world. That's sad.
Yeah.
Lee, do you have a picture of her?
I do. What I found, I'll put it right up there. She was born in 1975. She was born in San Diego, California. Okay, she played Carol Ann Freeling in Poltergeist in 1982, and then in 1986, and then in 1988. And that was when Poltergeist 3 was released. In 1987, when they finished wrapping it up, she started having flu-like symptoms, and her legs and feet were swelling. And like you said, she was misdiagnosed with Crohn's disease, but they were giving her medication and cortisone injections, and they didn't know that it was a congenital intestinal stenosis, where she had a narrowing of the intestine. And like you said, bless her heart, she got sick at home. It was Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh, wow.
And she was rushed to the hospital because she basically collapsed. Yeah. And what actually killed her was a cardiac arrest, because she had severe bowel obstruction and septic shock.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, I remember. Yeah, I remember when it happened. The reason being is I'm more aware of things going on around me on my birthday. So I'm a February 1st Aquarian, and it just seems like anytime something historical happens on that day, it's like I remember it. I put myself there. It's just because I'm, taking stuff in a little bit differently on that day, and you remember those moments. And I do remember when that all came down, and feeling so bad, that somebody that young was taken from us. And you really start looking at the movie, and then with that. But even before that was the girl that played Carol Ann's sister in the movie. The actress, her name was Dominique Dunn. So she played the older sister. But right after the movie was done filming, an ex-boyfriend just couldn't quite take no, and came to her house and choked her to death and left her there to die at her doorstep.
Strangled her to death.
Yeah. So 22 years old. So, and yeah, that's the murder side of things tonight. But really, what brought that on? What energy? Sometimes negative energy in somebody else could create problems with our supposed loved ones too. It doesn't discern between what's going to come at you or at your family, especially if you're involved with something, the movie that's cursed or anything like that. It doesn't discern that. You need to keep protection over everybody that you love, friends, family, and all that, especially when you're dealing with things like this. So, but of course, people on a movie set aren't going to know that.
I'll slow down. Here she is. Sweet baby.
And you guys want to know something interesting? There's 2 movies that scared the crap out of me as a kid. Poltergeist was one, Freddy Krueger was the other.
Yeah.
And that's why I remember, and I watched it all the time, and it still scared me. So I know, Lee. I know.
Yeah, we talk about that stuff.
Camp Crystal Lake.
Oh, there you go. But that's the whole thing is these movies, people ask me now after doing paranormal, helping people out at their homes with cases for 40 years and seeing some of the craziest stuff you'll ever see. And people ask me, do you get scared? And I'm like, no, I don't. I says, after seeing Salem's Lot as a 7-year-old, that scared the crap out of me. I don't think anything could scare me more than that. I don't think I slept for a week. If the wind and the trees hit the window, I thought the little boy was coming in out of the fog to make me a vampire. It's crazy what these movies could do. And you really think about it. People do claim that when they watch some of this stuff, weird things start happening. Is that your mind creating, again, the energy, as opposed to the same thing with the actors and the energy they're trying to put into purvey or to portray this type of thing, especially with a movie called Poltergeist. Oh, you don't know what you're asking for in that. And I don't know what Spielberg was thinking or the direction of Toby Hooper. So the fact of the matter is Spielberg supposedly and Laura they wanted to save some money. So instead of getting the plastic skeletons, they're saying that they used real skeletons for one of the scene. So
what in the world are they thinking?
Yeah. And
I
so
don't know.
desecration of remains is what. Yeah.
Where did they get them from? It's
a medical like for cadavers and things like that.
Yeah.
They used them and then they washed them off and gave them back. The thing is, back then they just didn't have the ability like now to be able to make realistic skeletons that weren't going to cost a lot. And so they said, you know what, it's cheaper for us just to get skeletons. And a lot of the people that were actors and actresses, even, just, people that were on set, that were just kind of fill-ins, they didn't know. Mm-hmm. So there was a good bit of trauma.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, you think somebody like Spielberg and this Toby Hooper might have did a little bit more research. You're filming a movie called Poltergeist. So you're putting that energy into it. And then you bring real skeletons onto the set with unknowing people, knowing what kind of energy you're bringing and them trying to do their best to bring about what you want in your direction. Yeah, that's a recipe of disaster, if you want to ask me, knowing what we know now that they may not have known back in 1982. But
just trying to do the cheap way and spend less, make more. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
They mess with the wrong.
Yeah. So, but there's all kinds of things that happen. I think there was a prop that malfunctioned on set, and one of the child actors was nearly choked to death.
That's what I was looking at. It was well, I did have it up. I apologize.
Here's Will.
The Poltergeist curse.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And they talked about the crow is the curse within the Lee family.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But there was also, like they could feel the curse, they said.
Yeah.
This one's a little different. Let me throw up Will Sampson real quick, because guy.
Yeah.
He was in when the Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest with
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson.
Yep.
I
yeah.
just think he's gorgeous. I just do. When he
Now
was
his
young.
picture you showed earlier, that was a really, really good picture with him sitting. I don't know, it was in color and he was looking off. Yeah, that was really
Yes.
good. That's the one that looks like the movie to me. But
Yeah.
It was from the movie, yeah.
was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
But he being an actual real shaman.
Yeah. Why did he not
Because
tell
of
them?
well, the thing is, I don't know, but on the I think it was part 2, he actually performed an exorcism on set because of a lot of the energy going on. If anybody's going to feel it, a shaman's going to feel it.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
they're gonna go to work, just like all of us when we're here to assist our client or spirit. We just have a duty to act as shaman to help. Within that allowing us to help. We're not going to push ourselves on anybody, but when they know and they're desperate, they do call out. The spirits call out. So that's when we have to act. So that's kind of what this Will Sampson, I think, did. Probably felt that on set and decided that it was the best interest for everything at that moment to do that. Yeah, the one that really got me, one of my favorite characters, probably the scariest MF you'll ever see was Julian Beck, who
Yes,
played
bless
the
him.
crazy Reverend. So people talk about who's the scariest character you ever seen. Nobody says Freddy or Jason or anything. They go, yeah, the crazy, Reverend from Poltergeist. That was scary.
Well,
Yeah. So
from the day he was born, he was scary. This guy freaks me out. And
yeah,
he actually had cancer.
yep,
And so he was looking really,
Is he the one that ultimately died from stomach cancer or something?
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Is that the one? Okay, because I knew there
That was
were
like at the
medics.
filming of part 2. He was. That's when he succumbed. So he made it through the first one and all that. So, but after the filming
Here,
of number 2, he
bless
died
his
succumbed
heart.
to cancer. Yeah.
He had stomach cancer and
Mhm.
he had beat it. And then he did the movie and then it had come back. And that was it. Let me show you his picture.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Yep.
Bless his heart.
I
just hate
agree.
that.
He's creepy. Oh yeah.
You didn't have to. The guy didn't even have to put any makeup on. Be scary. So
Ooh,
that's
So-
the ultimate character right there. So
Well,
yeah.
let me tell you there's some more that I uncovered after we talked. Okay. So
Yeah.
Dumb Pete Dunn, we talked about Dana and she was strangled by her ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
Heather O'Rourke, bless her, the little girl that died of congenital intestinal stenosis, right? Julian Beck, who was this man, stomach cancer. Will Sampson, he had it was
his kidney failure.
it was a heart and lung transplant.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he was doing great. It was post-operative kidney failure.
Yeah.
So it just came back on him. Lou Perryman, who played a Pugsley character, he died. He was murdered.
Mm.
Brian Gibson, who was the director of Poltergeist 2, died. And it was a rare type of cancer that just took him out. Zelda Rubinstein, who played Tangina,
Yeah.
she died of mysterious causes. Nobody ever figured that out. And then Tobe Hooper, who was the director of Poltergeist, died.
Yep.
Yeah. But there were a lot of untimely deaths that were a part of it, of other people, that worked on the set.
Yeah.
There was a tragedy. Richard Lawson, who was he was one of the main characters. I think he's the dad. I'm pretty sure he is. He was supposed to get on U.S. Air Flight 405, and his seat got bumped, and there was an accident, and right where he's sitting, it would have killed him.
Wow.
And he narrowly missed that. So yeah, it's pretty bad. Really bad. Whew, you guys ready to go to the next?
I don't know.
That's a lot.
And if you
Well,
guys
that's the thing is,
movie, go see it. So go watch.
yeah,
it.
just everybody out there. Again, one of the warnings I like to give out is just be careful of your intention.
Yep.
Just be mindful of it. Keep yourself protected. I know we're talking about movies right now, but really, you put enough energy into something, especially on that topic. A lot of these movie people don't realize is they could create something that they may not have an understanding of, and these things could happen. I tell people all the time, just especially working with clients, people ask me all the time. I've had cases of demonic infestation and things that had to be done. I don't talk about them specifically anymore, because the reason being is, as a shaman and knowing energy, if you give it life again, it will come back.
Yes,
So
it will.
we avoid it. So it's the same thing. A fire, take its oxygen away, it goes out. So why would you give it oxygen again if you want it to go out? So that's the best way to really put it. So anybody out there playing with paranormal, don't understand yet, probably the best thing to tell you, be careful of your intent, and be careful of giving things oxygen, and that could burn you very badly. So, all right, next movie.
I'm telling you. Okay, so just a quick recap. We started out with movies that kill, and we dug into The Crow and the Lee family curse.
Yep.
That affected everybody, and infected one guy to the point where he could only play bad guys after. Poor man.
Yeah.
And we did the poltergeist and all these people that died and all these strange things that happened, and The Exorcist.
That's the worst of them all right there.
That still creeps me out a little bit. Yep. Still does.
Yes, it does.
Yes,
And the sounds, the thing. Okay.
My skin is just crawling. Ooh, yeah.
Wait till I tell you about the sounds. So that's another one right there. We'll get to all that. This is going to be the rest of our time on. We'll probably be taking it up with this movie and everything.
Yeah, because there's so much to it. This is going to go by quickly, but remember, we're going to break it down. So here is our info about The Exorcist. All right, I guess you guys saw all of that. There's a lot to break down. Yes. So first thing, I'll just start this off, and you guys talk about this, okay? There was a fire that enveloped the entire house except where the exorcism was taking place.
Mm-hmm.
That freaked everybody out.
Yep.
Okay. What do you think, guys?
There's a lot to unpack here. And just so everybody knows, a lot of people, if we go back to the beginning, go back to 1949, the exorcism that we know now, the name, I forget the real name of the guy. We'll just keep that out of it just for the sake we're on a show and we don't want to bring that attention. But they called it the exorcism of Roland Doe. So it was a male boy that went through several exorcisms through the Jesuit priests and all that. Several to the point where it said that the priest finally in the end said, well, leave the boy alone and come at me. So they think that person was locked up in, the priesthood for the rest of his life with that demon on him. That's what is said. I don't know. Of course, in that world, they're going to keep it away from all of us. So I think that was a little hard to get that information. But while he was at school, it made the papers in the Washington area where William Blatty was, I think he was a journalism student of some sort, but, saw that idea. It stayed with him. But all he did was almost the same story, per se, the exorcism, of course, the priest taking on the demon, and basically opening up to forces didn't understand. You write this book, you put your stuff into it. All he did was just change it from a boy to a girl. I don't know why, but maybe that made it a little more exciting, a little different, I guess, at the time. But that ended up turning into the movie, and that's where I got crazy. A lot of people don't realize is, Roland Doe supposedly with his aunt was trying to summon some closure with his mother that passed through a talking board.
I thought it was his aunt, but
something like that, his aunt or whatever.
Yeah.
But a lot of people said that Blatty was on set and tried to do a seance to use the energy of the set to summon his mother to get some closure. Just like the same thing that happened in the original one. This guy was trying to do something similar. Did that create that type of atmosphere? Potentially by opening it up, and somebody like Blatty, who I don't think really knew what he was dealing with except for what he wrote. That doesn't make you, again, nobody's an expert in this field. None of us really know for sure. It is paranormal. If we knew for sure, then it would just be normal. So we're always at the chase, yeah, we're always at the chase. We don't know anybody out there that says they know exactly. I just, thanks, but no thanks. There is experience. That's about it. You experience a few things, and even then, just when you think something spins you around and gives you some other type of energy to think about. But in this case, they were dealing with stuff they had no clue what was about to hit them.
No idea.
Yeah. But that's the topic, when you're messing around with something, especially calling the movie The Exorcist, and, that's a big thing to take on, and it's a big thing to try and figure out, but it was screwed from day one. So the opening scene was filmed in Iraq.
Yes.
Of course, I don't think we could film anything in Iraq anymore now, but there was supposed to be this demon statue, and right off the bat, this demon statue is supposed to be shipped to Iraq so they could use it for the opening scene. Ended up in Denmark somehow. So that's like, the mishap, the first mishap doesn't seem like much, but just like a possession, starts off very little. It starts chipping away at you, trying to weaken you by doing little things and all that. So it's another thing they didn't consider. But all those things, even when you talked about the house, the exorcism that burned down, you're talking about delays to the point where, with all the delays because the house burning down, the sprinkler system broke, just all those things with the delay of the statue, it caused the filming to be 100 days longer and cost $2 million more. Yeah, nowadays, $2 million for a movie is not much, but in 1973, that's a lot of money. So that's a lot of loss, and I know they made it all back because a lot of people had to see the movie twice because they left in the middle of it throwing up or passing out, from what they say. But
a lot of people did.
So
that was
that's
another problem.
Yeah,
because they said that people were fainting and puking and just overcome and just had to leave.
Even deaths from watching it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so here's the first one. I got a little slide we can pop up to slow it down a little bit. Okay, because there's so much. All right, so here's the fire. And Reagan's bedroom was the only part not damaged. And there was a lady, Ellen Burstyn. She was
It's the mom. She played the mom. Yep.
Yeah, and then she had a lasting back injury because she was yanked back during a stunt. And so that was bad. And then Linda Blair had a back injury from a faulty rigging. And then Jack McGowan, who played Burke, he died of the flu.
Yeah.
Before the release.
Yep.
Okay, and then the mother, Vasiliki, she died, natural causes, but it was very sudden. And then there were two other cast members that died. There was someone that lost a baby. One of the employees, their wife was pregnant. She lost her child. All kinds of crazy things that happened. There was a cherry picker that malfunctioned. It's just a bunch of stuff. And so they said a blessing. After the mishap, a priest had to do that to calm everybody's nerves. This is the first one. Okay.
Oh.
And so that's when the cursed film reputation started. William Friedkin talked about the curse. on tour to the press.
Yeah.
Okay, so then there was a real life murder in the film. Paul Bateson, he was convicted of murder.
Crazy.
So yeah, there's that one. Okay, that's number one. You covered most of that, but here's number two. It's not quite as long, but it's still extremely bad. Okay, so it was reframed in 2025. Okay, so this is The Heretic. This is the one where the creepy man Julian and my crush Mr. Sampson. This is where they were. Okay.
No, that was the Poltergeist one. So this is the Exorcist.
Oh, wait, excuse me.
That's okay.
Yes, thank you. All right.
No problem.
So there was the film Tortured production history. It was lumped into cursed discussions at that point because it's the curse. It's the curse, isn't it? They had illness. They had to stop filming at one point because everybody was sick and it was running through everybody. They had casting issues. They had general production problems. And, the director was like, I really regretted doing this. So there's a whole lot of, it was just forced, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
And here's the third one. So the studio mandated an exorcism and reshoots. Okay. William Blatty's Legion Fateful Cut had no exorcism, but that Morgan Creek forced a new ending and added Nickel Williamson, Father Morning Sequence. Okay. Ed Flanders died by suicide. He was Father Dyer. Jason Miller, who was Father Karras, in the original film, he died of a heart attack suddenly. Said that this was, it was a bad film because, everything was going wrong and they just couldn't put it all together. But I think it became a cult favorite because of all the crap that was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now here's you some patterns, Tom. I know that's what you look for.
Yeah.
The cluster of deaths.
Yeah.
Okay. The odd event where Reagan's room was spared. True crime bleed through with Bateson about the murder. And then the sequel, Chaos and Supernatural. Creative interference. They said that there were pictures of her and they were so distorted they had to refilm it because it looked like it was something supernatural superimposed over her face.
It probably definitely was. Again, you're putting one of the most sacred rights in religion when somebody is dealing with that one side of the yin, the yang, the evil, the good, that battle. You're creating a lot of energy and you're putting that into this movie. You never know what you're going to get. Even you're talking about all the sicknesses, them being over in Iraq at the time, back then, what is it? Half the crew, they said, was sick. They all had, some of them had sunstroke, some of them had dysentery. One of the guys lost his toe. Another guy lost, a thumb. Yeah. He's not hitchhiking, but,
Oh. And he can't do the, what is it? The dance, with the.
We're showing our age again, people.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, I've got one more slide. This important parts. Okay, here we go. All right. So we have the fire. There was a dark, oppressive feeling, playing with something they shouldn't be, like you just said. Double exposures of the little girl's face and one reel. That the director said this is unbelievable. This is even possible. One report said the production reportedly experienced extraordinary misfortune among support staff and crew. The assistant cameraman's wife died. A janitor was murdered. Refrigeration operator died. It just kept going. Like I was telling you about somebody miscarrying, and then subliminal and barely perceptible images of demonic faces, skulls, and stuff that were superimposed. That's why I think people, go back to this, trying to see if they see something frame by frame, basically. And then they had to have an exorcism.
Yeah. It's crazy, but really, I want to tell you guys this one quote. This is what really hit me when I was researching a lot of this stuff. When a real priest sees the movie and then wants to talk to the priest, the guy that plays the priest, this is kind of what he told him, yeah, you were in a movie, but I'm just going to read this as a quote so you guys know.
Oh, yeah.
This is what he said to him. Reveal the devil for the trickster he is. He will seek retribution against you, or he will try to stop what you are trying to do to unmask him.
Oh.
Words to that guy. So the guy that played the priest hears this. I think it was a couple days later, his young son was out on the road and got hit by a motorcycle.
Oh.
Yes.
So.
I forgot about that one. Dang.
Yeah. But you hear that quote that tells you all that we're telling you right now. All three of these movies. You put the devil on display and you try and reveal what he's trying to do. You could they'll seek retribution. It may not be right away. It could be later on down the road. It waits for you to be weak. It waits for you to be weak. So stay strong in who you are, in your intention, especially when watching this show. I know we have our little things usually roll just to, give people warning. We're not responsible if you become possessed.
I got you.
We're not responsible if you become possessed, but if you do, there's several shaman that might be able to come out and help you. Just give us a call. But don't blame us. So
No, don't blame us.
But I will say there's one thing that was in the Exorcist 2 that the shaman pointed out, and this was something he made sure that was in the movie. He told them what to do and he left.
Yeah.
They had to own it. They had to deal with it on their
own.
Yeah,
I'm out of here.
Like, here it is, 1, 2, 3. And he was hanging on to the little girl, protecting the weak, but then told the dad, all right, it's time for you to do a glow up. It's your time. You're the father. It's your time. All of this happened. You picked the house. You picked this whole situation. You can do it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I've got one more little thing to put out here. Just okay. Because sometimes the real horror isn't in the movie. It's in what the movie leaves behind.
That's true.
Yep. Just so people know, in the spirit world, as you see, they don't have what we have. They don't have watches. They don't have time and all that. We're always looking at time. And, time's relative. Whatever you want to go into your Einstein stuff or the scientific side of it. I really think in the spirit world, they could come to us in the future, past, present. They already know what's about to happen. They're setting you up. You have to be mindful of that and know that could happen and keep yourself protected at all times. Just with your daily protection as you wake up. That's what we have to do as sensitives, as shaman, and anything like that on a daily basis. As you could see, we're talking about this stuff. You could see smoke coming. I'm burning candles. I'm burning everything. I'm keeping my circle, my intent going, and what I believe in and what I believe helps give me the energy to keep me protected. And I always constantly have prayers going off in my head, especially talking about this topic. When you've experienced it for real, you don't take it lightly. Just people out there, don't play with this stuff. I know my mentors have went on tour talking about this for years, and that's how I met them. I continue saying that stuff because it's true. Once you have experienced it and know what it could do, you don't wish it on your worst enemy. So stop playing with this stuff. Anybody watching, be mindful of your intent and what you're putting out there. Don't do something that you don't know anything about. I'm not saying don't do certain things. Just be with somebody that's experienced in it if you want to experience it yourself to learn the proper way.
Person.
Reputable.
Reputable. Yeah. I have great mentors.
Yeah.
And Blaine and Matt and and others. Yes. So I am lucky.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with a lot of people out there are speaking to the dead. You're speaking to no. There's message. There's discernment to learn, and what you're dealing with. Yes, there's trickster spirits that you have to be mindful of. You have to know the situation. Do your history. Know your stuff. And I even send this out to the people making movies. You should know this before you do movies of this nature to keep your set protected. Again, people like Lee and all of us, we always make ourselves available for certain things to educate people. It doesn't matter what it is. Lee's been on TV shows, myself, and all that, but we're still trying to protect the show that we're on too, on top of it. And I know we did that on Repossessed. Yeah, you're constantly doing that because you know what the topic is. You know what imprint. Yeah, you know what imprint it could put on that show or that movie. And people have to be mindful of it. Just the fact that some of these like Poltergeist had an actual shaman on set, even then. But the thing is he believed what he believed to help. Yeah. But unless you get everybody together on the right frame of mind, it's going to be hard. As opposed to even, all you have to be together on one thing. If everybody believes something bad's going to happen, guess what? Something bad's going to happen. Yep. You have to hold in your group and make sure they're on the same wavelength of positivity, especially talking about this topic and making movies about this topic. Yeah.
Well, I will tell you, when we did Repossessed, we did every kind of preparation and safety and all of the things that we needed to do at the end of every shoot.
Yeah.
And then in the hotel. And then on the objects themselves. And I'm still in touch with the people that were, speakers on the show. They're part of my family now. I told them I wasn't going to let them go. I need to monitor what's going on. The show's not filming anymore, but that doesn't mean my work is through. And I know you're that way because you were doing that today. So.
Yeah, I was out helping somebody that's already had a crew go out twice on our behalf, and now I'm taking over. And even the crazy thing is again, it's the intent. Stacia should have been there with me today. And even when she first met this woman to help her, Stacia had a flooding at her house. This energy was like trying to keep her away. So this stuff happens in real life where things could happen in your life and create such chaos. Again, I gave you that quote. When you try to unmask something, there's consequences. And we know that. We do this work knowing that we're going to run into something dark when we try and, put a light on it or unmask something when it's trying to be a trickster or create havoc on any of our clients or even create havoc on spirit. That, there are some spirits that are dark and demonic that won't let other spirits make that transition. They keep them in chains, and we have to overcome that and help them with that. So it's just like us when our meat suits are still around. Same thing. And again, that energy you put out, you got to be mindful of it. And if you don't know what you're doing, you could create more harm than good. So I always warn people when you do home cases, make sure you have experience. Because you could really harm somebody really badly. There are cases that I've known from that I've talked to other people where the person went in and said, yeah, it's this. I guarantee it's this. Say you're possessed by legions of demons. Now this poor person that really has mental illness thinks they're got legions of demons, and you don't know that. And the person ends up committing suicide because they think they're no good because they got legions of demons. You just created this guy to take his own life because of you not having the experience to know the difference between somebody with mental illness and an actual paranormal situation going on. Those are the things you have to discern. If you don't know what you're doing, stay out of people's houses. That's the thing is if you want to learn about this stuff, be with somebody that knows what they're doing. Go to these places that have experienced people there to show you how everything works. Be mindful of that. Don't think because you saw something on TV that you could do it. I don't watch a heart surgeon and go in and try and do heart surgery the next day.
That's right.
People look at this, oh, that's easy. I could do that. No, it's not. There's a lot that goes into this. There's a lot of time. There's a lot of trial and error, unfortunately. But, even me, after 40 years of doing this, I'm still learning stuff because there's no any solution. There's experience of what happens to you and what to do next time, or, okay, this happened to me before and this is what worked that time. It may not work the same. You're dealing with different energies sometimes, but those are the things that you have to discern and be prepared for and have that experience before you try and put your opinion into somebody to help them. You have to be very, very mindful of that. You could create a lot of havoc, and you could have a movie set that is primed for evil things happening too when you don't know what you're doing and play
They
with.
didn't take any precautions, and
No.
look at this mess.
Yep.
So, well,
So I'll get off my paranormal soapbox now. So, but
Some people need to hear it though. They really
yes,
do.
people need to hear it, and also this is what we do when we talk about serial killers and murderers. And now the supernatural,
Yeah.
'cause looking at it from the other lens compared to what we usually do. We have to let people know that there is a risk that evil does, evil exists, okay? And this is fiction. What we're talking about with these movies, it's fiction. But when you take fiction and everyone has the combined effort of extreme emotion and extreme commitment, it attracts. Just like your body, there's a such thing as laughter therapy.
Yeah.
And your body doesn't know when you're ha 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 and you're making yourself, you start that way with the breathing and then you end up laughing. Your body doesn't know it's not real. And you still have the emotions and the euphoria of laughing.
Yeah.
It's just the same way. It works the exact other direction. So let's all be careful about what we are allowing into our hearts. If we are identifying with evil, and it's one thing to play pretend. It's another thing to enjoy things that are a little gothic or a little bit dark, but it's something totally different to want to embody these things. It's something. They have a beautiful side. Evil has a beautiful side that's very euphoric, and it's mesmerizing, and it's powerful, and if I could just do that, if I could just find a way to build my powers, and I can do it this way, or speak to somebody and do it this way, spiritually. Evil sees that as an invitation right in the door. So
It
everybody
is.
keep that in.
People got to realize your words, they're like mustard seeds. What you put out into the universe knows no difference. So if you put something out negative and you say, "Oh, I'm just joking," no, the universe doesn't see it that way.
No,
they don't see
don't.
it as a joke. So
Yeah, the energies don't
careful.
either. And then my final thing is one of the first things my grandmother taught me, and Mom was talking to Gwen about, because Gwen is definitely my sister by adoption from my mom, no doubt. She
Exactly.
loves, to this day, I know Mom's not with us, but she loves Gwen. She
Oh.
goes to her all the time.
She was
But
Oh, she's still around you guys like there's no tomorrow. I feel her all the time when I see you guys together, especially.
Oh,
Yeah.
she loves Gwen.
And what do I wear? Every day.
I know Mom's ashes.
With the fairy cross that Lee gave me. Always.
Yes, I
Always
did.
together.
And that one was given to me when I got when I got my little juvenile, because you get your name, and then as you grow into an adult, then you get a different name. And so I gave you my first cross. It's a big thing. It's a coming of age thing.
I'm gonna cry.
Yeah, you mean that much to me, Gwen. And I want you to know, Mom and Mama Jenny both said, yes, you can see spirits talking to everyone. You can see them, you can hear them, but you have to test them.
Yep.
You have to test yourself and test them. And that's one of the reasons why we all went in together. And I need to get you to help me with, so you think your kid's psychic too. I've done the first one and I rewrote it, but this time we've got to talk about protection for parents, and how children can protect themselves, and what discernment means. Because we were talking about, toddlers through middle school. Now it's time for us to go, when they get of age, it's time for something else, because certain things come to kill and destroy.
Yeah, it's really big with children when they hit their teen years, when they're going through
puberty,
the hormonal changes and all that, because again, your gifts don't discern either sometimes. And that creates even more of a protection that you have to do to help your children with that identity issue too. So, yeah.
Thank you, Marla. And you are right. always make sure that you're covering your bases and know that
Close
you're
it out.
protected.
Always
Yes,
close it out.
always close it out. So last thing I'm going to say, because I know we're past 9 and Gwen's got to, jump back and then get ready for Raven. But I just wanted to say we came searching for proof of curses, and we found patterns that refused to die. And death on set, tragedy off screen, maybe horror isn't make believe. And maybe it's the door that just should never be opened. So if you're looking at something, make sure you know what you're looking at, because sometimes there's a price to pay if you're not protected. And that's why we're here, speaking into your ear. Pay attention, and we love you. Don't forget about the things we were wanting you to pray about, please. Please continue to heal, pray for healing for Blaine.
Yes.
He's looking good, but he's still weak. And for our precious Stacia, she's definitely a heck of a woman. But we all need to be praying for her that she is able to get on the other side of this illness.
She's going to.
Yes, she will.
Yeah.
But
She'll
she's
be
been
fine.
through so much. She's been through so much, and I'm ready for that to.
But that's what happens when you're so spiritual in who you are and how much good you do. Bad things come at you like that. And she's overcome a lot in her life to make sure that she brings the goodness and the healing to the people that want it, no matter what. She's a tough woman. So
that's quite a commitment. So, I find her very, very honorable for doing that. And you too.
Yeah.
And Gwen, you too. You went from saving people as a medic to, helping spirits and bringing.
And look how much I've grown in just years.
I'm so proud of you.
But that's the big thing.
Yep.
Gwen, you've had a lot of great people in your life, and I'm glad that you are an individual now in your own thing, and we're always here to support you no matter what. And I'm glad that I've seen you grow quite a bit myself in just a matter of just a little bit of time. And, I know you're a little more newer to the paranormal side of things. So, and, and I'm glad that Lee, myself, and Matt, and everybody that's been in your life.
Yep.
Yeah, Blaine, of course.
And Blaine,
Stacia.
yes.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
and not just them. I have tons of other people who just even
I
if
know,
they don't know.
but I'm glad you're doing your thing. You're doing your thing with confidence.
There it is.
And that shows. And you and just your whole face and your demeanor over the last year has morphed into a beautiful woman that you already were.
Thank
you. And
you make me cry.
Yes. And she's so healthy.
Yep.
She's so healthy.
Not right now, though. I'll tell you,
honey.
if you're out there sending me a little good energy, because I got a knee issue from an injury and I have just been under the weather since I got home.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, there's solar flares.
Yes.
Solar flares. It's
Thank
fatigue, sleeplessness, anxiety, vivid dreams.
I got all that. I got all that stuff. I got all that stuff, but
all of us need.
We
need to huddle up. We need to circle up, not huddle up.
We need to circle up, and we're better together. Don't ever forget that.
Always.
Well, not a lot of time until we all circle up together in Salem. So just make sure.
I am so excited. I am.
There's going to be so much palpable energy up there. I want everybody to come out and experience it, especially the fact that members of Wardruna are going to be there, on top of our horror guests like James Stokes that you guys met last week. Make sure you come and meet him. James Murtaugh.
He's a big dude. He's a big dude, but he's got a heart of gold.
He'll give you a hug and squeeze you.
Yeah. So, a lot of the paranormal people, I sit there. I love to talk to people. I know I'm running the event and being part of the event. But I want to meet everybody, anybody that has questions. That's my thing. I don't do a lot of home cases anymore. Just the really ones that people can't unravel, which I'm dealing with now. But I pretty much retired from all that unless it's an extreme case. But I like to educate people on it. And I'm just glad that all of us are able to bring that, especially with this platform, especially what we talked about tonight. Hopefully that resonates with some people that are a little bit newer in the industry to really discern and be mindful of what they want to do in this industry. I'm not telling you don't not be in it, but take precaution. So
Well, all
And
right.
speaking of Salem, I do want to play the video before we go on.
Yeah, we'll play all of it.
Good
Are
idea.
you ready? You ready?
Yep. SalemParacon.org.
Yep. All right, here we go.
All right. Take us out, girl.
Good night, everybody.